I think we can get started. NFHS signals, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And I'm going to have a few that might be humorous. So I'm hoping what we're going to get out today is show some signals that weren't done properly, maybe some signals that aren't signals but are used and good to use, maybe some sequences that we could have improved on, or what can we do maybe to look better. That's kind of the purpose of what we're doing now. If we veer off onto that wasn't a foul, or that's okay. Those are fun too, to discuss the contact that happens. But the purpose is mainly to look at the signals and the way we present ourselves and what we're doing and why we're doing it. Good. I am going to start with a video I put on Facebook for all our Facebook friends. I'm going to play it first, and then we'll see what y'all say before I put my 2 cents in. Here goes.
Shot. Big offensive possession for the Redbirds here.
Their crowd making some noise. They come to their feet. Final 15 seconds of the first half.
Anyone here on Facebook remember this play? I'm going to play it again fast, and then I'm going to point out what I see in slow motion.
Big offensive possession for the Redbirds here.
Their crowd making some noise. They come to their feet. Final 15 seconds of the first half.
What signal are we talking about?
Under a minute.
Last shot?
Yeah, the last shot signal. I don't know exactly what it's called because it's not an official signal, but it is in the official's manual about what we should do when there's when you near the end of the clock and you kind of try to get everyone's attention. So everyone knows, hey, we're under a minute of this quarter. All right. The unofficial signal that is officially spoke of in the manual is you put one finger above your head, indicating under a minute.
Index finger.
Yep, the index finger, just like he does here, which is great. Now you see there's 19 seconds on the clock. Yes?
Yeah.
Which is fine. That's totally, there's nothing wrong with that. But how long does he hold that finger up? Okay, we look over here, and what do we see right now? The trail official puts his finger up, acknowledging his partner, saying, yes, you're right. We're under a minute. Right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to move back to the other official, and he continues to hold his finger up. And he holds it up, and he holds it up, and he holds it up. Now I realize this is slow motion. But it was a total of, what was it, 19? So a total of 6 seconds that he had it up. And you could say, well, 6 seconds isn't that much. No, it's not that much. But his partner acknowledged almost instantaneously. What is the purpose of raising our finger up in the air?
You can get your partner's attention. That's
Right.
under 1 minute.
So you and your partner can visually see each other. Oh, yeah. Okay, great. Yes, I see it. One finger up. And then you always give the finger back. So your partner can see that I see you're signaling me and I agree with you. And here we are. And once that happens, you can put the finger down because it's not there for anybody else. It's only there for us as officials. Do we agree?
Yes.
Yep.
Right? So holding it up, and maybe he turned his head and he wasn't looking. That's possible. I can't really see where he was looking. But if I'm doing this, I'm going to be at least in my peripheral looking for my partner to give that signal back. Right? And once it's there, great. I'm bringing it down. If that means just this real quick and he did, okay, fine. 1 second. It's all about communicating with your partner. There were a couple people on Facebook who were like, I don't see anything wrong with that. Why shouldn't we do that? It's not about whether we should or shouldn't. It's just about know the purpose of that, the reason why we do that. With that in mind, I'm going to share a similar video now. Did you see that?
Yeah.
I don't have any slow on this, and I let this continue on for a while, but clock is about 15 seconds. We probably should have signaled last second, under a minute signal already. And then we'll talk about, I don't have any videos of the last second shot signal, but if we haven't, and this is the way they want to do it, fine. But watch the old trail, new lead. What is he doing?
Rotating.
That's the buzzer. Okay. He's right. He turns, goes the other way. He's like, oh, you know what? I should probably signal last second. Puts his finger up. He's not even looking at his partners. Again, the purpose of the signal is to communicate with your partners, not to mention, and this is my opinion and the opinion of some others, and not everyone maybe holds this, but I think he looks foolish running down with his hand straight up in the air. Now, again, I say before 15 seconds, we should have probably signaled that already. And you don't want to signal it while you are transitioning from the front court to the back court. I'm sorry, from the back court, the old front court to the new front court, because we're all supposed to be watching the players in transition, unless it's like a regular, they're just kind of dribbling it up. You can do one of these real quick, but it really should be in the front court. Goes under a minute. We're in the front court. Now there's 45 seconds. Now we've settled. Okay. Hey, right? Because we're still watching the play. We still have to officiate the players. We can't completely say, okay, hold on. Hey, we got one left. We got one left, right? You could put your one finger up, but do it at an appropriate time. Everyone agree with that?
Yes.
I just think when you're running down with your, same as like when you do three is good and you're running down and it looks goofy. Try not to do
Hey, Josh.
Yeah.
Hey, just real quick with that, though, this would be similar to the last second shot of a shot clock where you get down to 10 seconds, 10, 12 seconds, and the two outside officials are going to signal each other. So you're down close to 10 seconds. There's obviously action in the front court, but you're still looking to remind each other that, hey, this shot clock's about to go off in 10 seconds. So even if there's 10, 12 seconds left on the game clock, it's still, I think, appropriate to remind each other that we got a last shot coming up and it's mine or it's yours.
Okay.
Or whatever, just to be sure, make sure that we're.
Unless you just did the signal that you should do. This is to signal we are under a minute. Everyone knows we're under a minute. And then when you get to a last second shot, which I generally like to wait till 30 seconds, maybe 20, but under 30, because a lot can happen in between that minute, right? And especially if you have shot clocks, it's a little bit different, but you tap your chest. Mine, I've got it. It's my shot. It's not this anymore. We already know that we're under a minute. You don't do this again because it's still under a minute. Yes. But when you go from this front court and it's mine, and then you transition, now you should really do this again because it's going to be a new person who has that last second shot. This is the signal, not this, not this, not, hey guys, it's me, right? Just this. And who are you signaling this to? Both of your officials on a 3-person game?
Primarily the trail or
No,
It should be the outside officials.
yes, you just need to either do it to the center or the trail, depending on who is table side, because the last second shot's always taken by the official who's opposite table, correct?
Yes.
So don't worry about making sure that your lead sees you say it's my shot. The lead doesn't need to know. The lead's got their own responsibilities. The lead knows they are not taking the last second shot. So just worry about the one across the way. So that was a good point, Les. And that was what I was going to talk about as far as the finger and the pad. All right. I got one more. Sorry. Finger up. Just to drive my point home. I don't know how much time is on the clock. It doesn't matter to me. What I care about is, one, he's holding his finger up and he's officiating the play while counting. I don't feel as that's necessary. And even though most of us can do two things at the same time, When you're doing this, trying to get the attention so everyone knows it's last, and you're doing this and you're trying to officiate, you don't have 100% focus on the play. Some of it's here. And yes, it might be small, but what if something happened like it did and he didn't quite see it because he was kind of looking over like he might have missed it. So if you've got play in front of you, the first and foremost is officiate the play. Don't worry about the signal. If you don't ever signal, it's okay, right? It's more of a courtesy. It's more of a let's all get on the same page, but you've got to officiate the play first. Good?
Agreed.
All right. Let's do this one. Similar one finger in the air, but this one does not signify under a minute. What does this signify? This whole time, this is real speed, by the way. Are you watching the same thing I'm watching?
Yep.
The official on the right side of the screen in front of the dark player walked in. I think the first buzzer went off, right? Held his hand up and kept it up and kept it up and kept it up. Is anyone in that bench looking that his finger is in the air?
No.
Nope.
Does anybody care in that bench that his finger is in the air?
No.
Nope.
No. Now, we are supposed to signal when we come in with the finger in the air and yell out. I yell out. Maybe we don't have to yell it, but first horn. That's what the finger is signifying. That was the first horn. That means you wrap it up and you got to come out because technically we're supposed to start play on the second horn. Now, we all know that doesn't happen, but that's the whole point of getting in there. First horn, and you say first horn really loud. So now they know I'm here and I'm waiting for you to come out. But you can put your finger down instead of holding it there the whole time. Look at the other official. He's just like, okay, I'm just going to stand here and wait. We got to wait for the second horn to come out. Right? Now, when that second horn goes, then you can come in and you're not going to go second horn, but you can come in, you can, clap your hands and guys, let's go. It's time to come out. But that first horn, really, that's why you get in there. First horn. And usually there's an assistant coach that he's the coach who's in charge of getting that out. And if you can identify that coach early on, it will behoove you to first horn and then look at that coach as I got you, ref. I got you. Like then they're going to make sure they get them out. And that's why these players and these coaches don't come out until 15, 20 seconds after the second horn goes off, because we don't take that opportunity at the first horn to make some noise. You don't have to be interrupt their way. You don't have to be disruptive, but you do have to make them know that I'm here and I'm expecting you to wrap it up. Make sense?
Yes.
What happened there? What signal are we going to talk about? Watch the trail.
The 2-point shot attempt.
Right? He puts his fingers down to signify it's a 2. Now, is this an NFHS signal?
No.
No.
No, it is not. But I like this signal. I like it because it says to everybody, I saw her shoot the ball. I know exactly where she was when she shot the ball. And if the ball goes in, it's going to be 2 and not 3. Right? We don't need to do it. No one's asking you to do it. But if you do it, my suggestion is point toward the line. He kind of pointed toward the line to begin with, like to kind of point at the line, but use those 2 fingers and point right where she took off at. And that way it just kind of signifies, yep, she shot from right there. It's going to be 2 points. So if you use this, do it that way. And then you can signal 2 if she makes it again to the table just to confirm. Again, you don't have to, or you go the other way. We agree with that?
Yes.
That's not approved signal. It's not in the book to use. It's nowhere in the manual to say to do that, but it just gives a little extra clarity as to kind of like, I like the wall up. I know we're not supposed to use that, but I like the wall up when something happens and I know that there's contact and I got nothing, because you're conveying information to the coach. I see it. I'm ruling on it. This is what it's going to be. So that's just a little thing. Doesn't draw any attention to yourself, but if someone's watching, they'll see it. And if you go to the video, you'll say, oh, see clearly, he said it was 2 right there. Questions yet?
I can say real quick that in the pregame with the table, we say if we don't have our 3-point signal up, it is always a 2-point basket.
That's good.
Yes. And that is one of the reasons we don't need to do any signaling, right? Because this is the signal for a 3-point attempt. So if that's not up, we know that it's going to be a 2. All I'm saying is if you do give the 2 fingers, that's okay, but just maybe point in the direction where they're shaking off at. But there's absolutely no reason to do it, because all 3 competent officials on the floor know it's a 2. But sometimes the table doesn't really pay attention to us. So
True.
all right. This is going to happen. There's a foul on this play. Well, what do you possibly think I could talk about on that clip? It's got a foul. Okay.
No preliminary signal.
No preliminary signal. And he's saying 2 shots, but who's the foul on? Can you tell me who the foul's on? I'm going to play it slow again for you. Who's the foul on? Is it on 1 or 24?
I'd say 24.
But do you know?
No.
You don't know, because there's 2 players that had some kind of action toward a shooter. Could have been 24. Looks like probably 24, right?
Yeah.
Could have been number 1. We don't know what happened right there. We can't quite see. This, before I continue on, this is a play. Everybody hates that bird dog, but this is where a bird dog is needed. All you do is you give a little bird dog, not a big strong one like they used to do. They come in and they really point at them. Just point with your other hand to the waist of the player that you had a foul on. And then everybody knows, oh, it was on that guy. Okay. Right? Because if you watch this and listen to the video, listen.
By foul number 1, Jake Sarnecki is first team's first of the half.
He called it on number 1. If I had to guess, I would have said 24. Absolutely 24. No question in my mind. Nope. He called it on 1. Now, again, I don't know what 1 did. Maybe he did something, but that's why you need a bird dog. So you could say, yep, right here. No confusion. I should amend my statement. You don't need a bird dog. But a situation like that where there's 2 players near a play, it sure helps. Oop, right here. Boop, right here. You should give a preliminary. Always give a preliminary. But I'm more worried about, let's make sure we know who the foul's on here. And then when you go to the table, maybe he was deciding who he wanted to give it to. Maybe the context of the game was 24 had 4 fouls, and it's almost kind of a blowout or whatever. So he shared it. Possible. But try and signify who the foul is on. And I generally don't, because I don't like the bird dog. But sometimes I do when I feel it's necessary, like in a situation like that. All right. I'm just going to let this play, and then we'll talk about it. Did we see what happened on that play?
Play foul call.
Right? The trail had a foul call. Did anybody see what the lead was doing? Let me replay it for you. Now, this line here, I'm just separating the lead from the trail, and I'm going to zoom in so you can see both of them.
He called a travel.
Here is a possible blocked shot. Yes? He's reaching over him. Maybe he hit him on the arm. Maybe he didn't. I'm not sure. I think the lead probably has the best look on this. And look what the lead does.
Oh, he
Yeah.
blocked. Oh, that's what he did.
Okay, now, this is one of the reasons why we do not use that signal for a blocked shot attempt. You don't need to tell everyone, I saw the play. I saw that it was blocked. I'm ruling it's not a foul, because when your partner comes in thinking it is a foul, this coach now has an argument to say, well, wait, he was passing on it. He said it was all ball. Now, obviously, it doesn't mean you take your foul away, right? But it makes you look foolish. You came in with a foul. Your partner said it was nothing. You might even be right, but your partner said it was nothing. So now you've got two conflicting judgments on the same play that the coach obviously could see. If you just don't do this and your partner comes in and you know for a fact that was not a foul, well, he's got a foul. So we got to go with the foul, right? So don't do this. What if it's a 1-point game, 30 seconds left? That could make a huge difference in the outcome. A coach could get very angry and upset and animated that you might even have to then move forward with disciplinary action, all because you did this. So I'm just thinking forward as to how it could hurt you. Most of the time you can do this and nobody says anything, right? Nobody notices, but that one time when you do it and there is a situation like this and it escalates, that's where you want to avoid. Just don't do it, so you don't even think about doing it in a situation like that. Does that make sense? The logic?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
Hey, Josh.
Yeah.
In the same respect, I've used this in my officiating career, but I don't like this either. Because if you're down there at lead and you go like this and that trail comes in and it's got a foul, you're doing the same thing. You're telling everybody the guy's standing straight up and your trail's got a foul right in front of you.
And that's the reason in college, they did it for a year where they all did this. And then and then in college, they said, well, this is to my understanding, they said, stop doing it. Why? Right. Because one official who's right there does this and the other official comes in and does this. And now you've got two conflicting rulings on the same play.
Same thing with this. That's the same type of thing.
And you're always going to go, if someone has a foul, you got to go with the foul. Doesn't matter that I thought it was clean or you got to go with the foul. And so it just eliminates the possible escalation of argument.
Agreed.
Yep. All right. Here's a reminder. What signal is that?
He gave the jump ball, but he didn't stop the clock first.
It's a held ball signal, but it wasn't done properly. It was done properly 4 years ago, maybe longer. I don't remember when they changed it. But what do we do now?
Stop the clock.
Hand up to stop the clock and
That's
then
right.
do the jump ball signal.
Stop the clock first with your hand up and then give the signal. Now, is it a huge deal? No, of course not. And a lot of old timers they just do this because they've been doing it for 20, 30 years. I get that. But it's just a reminder, we have to train ourselves, stop clock first. Okay?
The advantage to that is your partner may have a foul from the different angle. If one of you have a violation and the other one has the foul, you're going to go with the foul, like you said.
Or even a violation. Even cleaner, your partner had a travel or something and you both have a hand up and then your partner comes with a travel. It looks like you both had that foul or that violation, right?
I agree.
Now, again, it's a small thing. It's kind of a nitpick thing, but that's the way they want it done. So we have to just remember to keep doing it that way. All right.
Yeah, it looked like the ref table side. I don't know if the trail, I think on that side, he actually put his arm straight up.
Oh, did he?
He actually put one arm straight up on it.
The lead or the trail?
Well, the trail.
Why is that center?
The center's out of position. I don't know who's.
I'll bet a rotation just happened.
Okay.
That would be my guess.
All right. So watch this. Call it the center then. Center moving to trail.
Yep, the
Up
trail
both
stuck his
arm.
hand up. Now, whether he
Yeah.
was going to call a violation or not, I don't know. It looks he was probably going to call a held ball too. Should the new trail have this call?
No.
Well, how far does the trail's primary coverage extend?
He's got two backs to his view.
Okay, but isn't it in his primary area?
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's
close.
okay. It's okay that he's looking at that. Now it was just a transition, so my guess is he should probably still be watching the center primary until that new old trail becomes the new center. But I could understand why he's looking in that if he knows that he's trail. And this isn't about primary coverage area, but when we transition, when we rotate, and I'm the center going to the trail, I have to watch my primary until I know the new rotations official is watching there. Because if I switch and now we've got four eyes both on the same primary coverage area, that means we've got a whole area that's not being watched by anyone. So we have to remember to do that. All right. This is just so you all know that we all do things that we shouldn't do. This is me making a great call and signaling exactly what happened. I don't think I gave a preliminary either. And that is the official NFHS signal for bear hug.
Bear hug
Yeah.
signal. Yeah.
I think it's signal number 51. Now, this is, in my opinion, that's okay to do. Once you say hold, right? Foul's on 15. We got to hold. Coach, he just bear hugged her. If you want to do that, I'm okay with that. But you shouldn't, especially at the table, report a bear hug, because even though everybody knows what it was and they saw it and then, okay, you just hold. And everyone's okay with that too. Although maybe sometimes it's more fun to do, the big bear hug. All right. What do we have next? Here's a good one. What could I possibly want to talk about on this one? Anybody?
Separation.
Let me play it fast again.
He's 20 feet away.
It's the not closely guarded signal, right?
Yeah.
Do you think anybody in that gym thinks he's closely guarded?
No.
So know when to use this signal. You don't need to use a signal when it's clear he's further than 6 feet apart. Only use it when they're kind of close. And okay, we better make sure that the coaches or the players or whoever know I'm not counting because I consider to be you're not closely guarded. Right? So we don't need it here. Do we agree?
Yes.
Little things. Nobody's going to say anything about, oh God, you did a not closely guarded when we wasn't even close. But these are the things, if you want to get from this level to the next level, that you should be doing or at least thinking about, especially if you get your own video of your own games and you watch. These are the things you should be looking for, and not just, wow, I blew that call or I got that call right, or how do I look out there? Am I using my signals properly? Am I doing the right signals? How do I look when I'm giving the signals? That's what I look for more in a game. Yes, you want to see that block charge that you called and see if you got it right. Yes, absolutely. But how do you look out there? All right, here's another example of that. Here we got a foul. It's being reported to the table. We called a block. Okay. What do we think? Was that a good foul?
It's a good foul. It wasn't a block.
I'm going to play it slow and let's see what you think. Did he block him?
No.
What did he do?
Pushed him in the back.
So what signal should we use?
A push.
Do you think anybody cares whether he gave a block or a push?
No.
Probably not. But that's not the point, because what if there is a coach over there who wanted to know what block, what did my kid do? He just jumped in the air. If you call a push, the coach can say he pushed him. Yeah, coach, he put his hand in the back and he pushed him. Block gives you a complete different story. And some of these coaches who try to actually help these kids improve what they do so they don't continue to foul can't figure out what's going on if you give a signal. I mean, if you're going to do that, you might as well just call a hand check or, player control, or just give any signal you want if you're just going to do that. Do we agree? I mean, signals are important to convey what happened. All right. Oh, same game. Okay, what am I going to talk about on this play? Anybody?
Stop the clock.
Did he stop the clock?
No.
No, he just blew his whistle. No.
What did he do instead of stopping the clock?
Grab the ball.
He was worried about that ball going out of bounds. Where is it going to go? If it goes anywhere, it's going to knock off the wall and come right back to you. Don't worry about the ball. Worry about the game. Signal the stop clock. Give your point. He eventually pointed the direction because he kind of had to, right? We've got to tell the players which way it goes. But don't worry about, oh, here comes the ball. It's coming my way. Even if it's coming right at you. It can hit you in the leg or in the chest, or maybe you got to get out of the way. I get that. Boop. And that way. And then you can get the ball. The ball, you're never going to start a game without a ball, right? Even if it rolls all the way down and you got one of those gyms where there's, a whole nother gym, field house behind it, and they didn't bring the net down to stop the ball and it goes all the way down, I'm still letting it go. It is not my job to stop the ball when it comes out of bounds. And if it's going to do that, then the game management's going to have to find somebody to make sure they get that ball. If you don't have a player, usually there's a little kid that likes to run down there and get it, but don't worry about the ball, because they're not going to say, all right, you know what, let's do the next 2 minutes. We'll just imagine we're dribbling the ball, and when it gets back here, we'll fight. No, right? They're going to wait for the ball. Yes, it could delay the game, but all right.
To start this game.
All right, now this play I like and dislike, or I should put it in the other way. I dislike and like all at the same time.
To start this game.
Did you see the trail official? Not sure what this official is doing. Okay. And I'm going to tell you what I think she's doing. First of all, she's caught up in the game, which we all can get. Sees the ball go out of bounds. The girl comes down on her foot before she passes it. Oh, she doesn't even pass it. She just comes down with the ball with her foot. Okay, she comes down. She's kind of caught up in the game, so it looks like she's pointing like, up, you're out of bounds right there. I see it. Okay, which is not a signal, which we don't need to do, correct?
Right.
And then I think she realizes I didn't stop the clock. So what does she do? Stops the clock. Now, it was way late after she blew her whistle. But this is why I like the play, because she recognized I didn't do it. I'm going to do it right now. And then points. Okay, so, dang it. I screwed. Well, you know what? I'm going to stop it and I'm going to point. I think that's the best way to do it, especially if you find yourself watching yourself on video and you're not stopping the clock regularly, or you're doing the big time. You just whistle and point. And if you want to change that habit that you're doing, and not necessarily just an out of bounds, maybe it's a 3-point or whatever, you have to literally catch yourself, say to yourself, I did that wrong. And even if it's 3, 4, 5 seconds later, do the right way, do it, and then go up or stop and go. Because eventually, if you're recognizing and then you're correcting it, eventually your body's just going to say, oh yeah, okay, no, I got it right now. Right? Stop, point. Does everybody understand that? Here's another sequence that I want to talk about.
Dre.
Same game.
Weisler back. Dre feels the contact and gets the roll.
All right. First of all, I cut this play for multiple reasons. I didn't actually like the call.
Dre.
But this is a
Dre feels the contact and
video
gets the
on
roll.
the signaling. So I'm going to let this play out. First of all, there was some contact. I don't know. The girl falls down. I have another angle in here. I just want to play it. Since I clipped it, I might as well show it. Not really any contact that really did anything. That probably is not a foul. Okay? But he called a foul. So let's go with the foul. He calls it. The ball goes through the basket. What does he do? Hand up, foul. Counts it with his other hand. Now, my question to you is, should he use the same hand with the fist up, or can he use the other hand with the fist still up and counting with the other hand? Anybody know?
I think he did it fine.
I think it would look better with the other hand, the foul hand, signaling a good basket.
I mean, that's how usually you see it, right? People signal and then count it with one hand, all in one, side.
Boom, it's already up here. And then we count it, right? And I guess you think you're supposed to do 2 fingers, I think. I don't remember exactly.
Yeah, 2.
But I looked this up because I watched it and I thought, that's not the way you do it. You're not supposed to go up and then count it. I think it looks a little silly. And so I looked it up. It does not say with the same hand that you call the foul, you then signal. Now, maybe that's what they want you to do. I don't know. Maybe that they don't care. All it says is this is the foul. And when you count the basket, you start above your head and you give this motion. And it's used in conjunction with the foul. So do they mean in conjunction this and then you use that one? Or do they just mean you use this and then you can use that one? I don't know. I don't think that anybody really cares. My personal opinion, use the same hand because you're already going up here. You're already up here. And if you count it, everyone sees that your hand is up and then you can just count it with the same one. I think it's a little more fluid, a little more continuous. And I think it looks better, but doesn't mean you can't do it the other way. All right. Any other thoughts on that play? Another sequence video. What did he do wrong?
He said no basket and then counted the basket.
It sure looks like that's what he did, Shelby.
Say just as he goes up for the shot, he does the foul first, fist up, and then right after that, he does the 2 hands clean decline, basically saying there's it's not a shot, but then he counts it right after that.
Now 4 clearly shoves 23. I don't know if that's a foul he got or if there was one after, but clearly there's a foul in my opinion. So I think that's a great call. But then he comes in, he does a great fist in the air, and it looks like he says, nope, no shot. Oh, wait, no, let's count it. I'm not sure what he's doing here. Did he change his mind? Was he doing this for something else? I know sometimes when people make a whistle, they sometimes like, okay, kind of like an umpire when they're okay, they put their arms out. Is that what he's doing? I don't know, but we need to be very cognizant. If we do this sure looks like a no basket. Does it not?
Oh, yes.
Yep.
So we can't do that. Even if, again, I've talked about it with end of quarters a lot. Guys will say, okay, that's it, quarter over. But this sure looks like a no shot. So we got to get rid of that. Get that out of your repertoire, unless you're actually saying no shot. And then come in and go down. Now, I watched this game on YouTube. I couldn't tell if there was arguments from coaches and if they thought that he waved it off and counted it anyway. It doesn't appear as though there was any argument about this, but could possibly.
Josh, I think
up.
he wiped it and pointed at the floor.
Let's see. You could be right. They shot free throws, by the way, so I know that it was a shooting foul, but what did he do?
Watch, he wipes and then he kind of points at the lane.
It looks like he's like giving a count, doesn't it?
I think he's pointing. Well, if you had the capability, see how many free throws they shoot.
Well, I don't I clipped it out. I just remember that they shot.
Yeah, I don't think he's pointing. I think he's signaling count the basket too, with the two fingers.
All right. Now, I could not remember the play right, and that's possible if they considered it not shooting and that's what he just looks like it's accounting. But then my suggestion to that is if you're going to point down to the floor, get rid of that. Because it's either shooting two or it's out of bounds of the designated spot that it's going to go out of bounds at. Because if you start pointing down to the floor about with it, and now it's starting to look like you're counting it, right? A lot of confusion. So we have to be a little more concise, and a little bit clear on what we do. That's possible. John, was that you who brought that up?
Yes.
That's good. I didn't
because
see.
it's one where it could lead to the partners thinking if no bonus, like, are we putting it out of bounds? Are we shooting? You
He's trying to
tell the story.
He's trying to convey to his partners, this is what's going on. This is what I have. So you guys can figure it out while I'm reporting. Yeah, I get that. We just need to be a little bit clearer if that's what we're doing. All right. How about this game again?
Travel, charge.
Can you guys hear that fan?
Travel charge.
He's asking for anything that he can get. What do we see on what this official is doing?
Travel, charge.
Well, he immediately gave the fist up and immediately said that we're shooting two, and then clarifies that we're shooting two. So it looks like shooting foul.
All right. I thought his signal and preliminary was good, but I don't like this video. I like the preliminary. What don't I like?
Charge.
Guy slamming his hands against the wall. Green.
It looks to me like this official doesn't care to be there. He doesn't really care. He's just kind of going through the motions, whatever. Look, he's like moseying through, kind of just walking like, yeah, okay.
Needs to run.
I'm not suggesting the guy doesn't care. I'm not suggesting it at all. But what I'm suggesting is that's what he's conveying to everybody else. It looks to me that he thinks he's bigger than that game, and he's doing this game a favor for just being there. You don't need to run really hard from the spot to the table, but give a little jog. Just show like, okay, and then you get there and then report. But when you're doing the whole do, yeah, okay, 15 to 11, right? Show a little hustle, enough to just look like, okay, I'm here to work, and I got that. And he had the foul. He had a good preliminary signal. He counted it, 2 shots, I think is what he did. But walking to the table, remember, we are telling a story, but we're telling a story the entire time that we're out there. And the way we hold ourselves tells a story that you don't even know that you're telling. People are watching you, and maybe it's not grandma who's watching her grandson out there. Maybe it's the assigner who said, you know what, John Scanlon, everyone told me that he's something to watch for. I'm going to come out, I'm going to take a look at him. And then John's out there like, yeah, I'm bigger than this game. I shouldn't be. That assigner must say, I don't want to use this guy, right? So don't let people watching you think things that aren't true. And again, I'm sure he was in the game, but that's not what he was conveying with his body language. Make sense? What do we see? Anything before I play it slow?
Yeah, he turned his back.
He turned his back. So when that kid threw his elbow because he was angry, he missed it because he was looking at the wall, right?
Right.
This is a very small thing, but this could be a career-ending signal mechanic that you use, because if you turn your back to the players and something major does happen and you don't get it and someone gets hurt or whatever, you may not want to be used by any assigner anymore because they heard that this happened on your game and you didn't do anything. You didn't see it. You turned your way. You cannot turn. And that's why, I don't know if any of you have heard this before. You've got the division line. If you're on the division line and the ball's going this way, you don't put this hand up and turn to point, right? Because you'll end up turning your back. You put this hand up so you can stay as you're watching and you point with that hand. And it's a very hard thing to do initially, is to know, well, the ball's going this way, I got to use this hand, or the ball's going this way, I go this way, because most guys have a dominant hand and they use that for almost everything. I'm right-handed. I use my right hand for almost everything, but you've got to know the ball's going to go this way. Okay, I'm going to use this hand this time and point this way because it keeps you square to the players that you're watching. And again, just like the play I had earlier, most of the time, 98% of the time, nothing's going to happen when you do that. But if something does happen, you're kind of screwed. So teach yourself and get your body used to the fact of doing it the other way. So if something does happen, you'll be right on it. And I've seen guys have plays in their game, major plays, blood, just pouring out of people from they got nailed and they had nothing. They saw nothing, and it ruined their career. So don't want that to happen to you.
Josh, I would say, unfortunately, this year, I saw a lot of that. And I mean, these are good officials too, but for whatever reason, I saw a lot of backs turned to the players.
And a lot of the times it's because, again, most of the time nothing happens. And so we just get used to and almost like in the motions of doing it, right? And so whatever, I just doing this way. And what's the big deal? But the big deal is when it is a big deal. So don't let that grab you.
Yeah.
Well, you got to train yourself when you're doing those kids games to do it the right
do
way.
It absolutely. That is a great time to do it. All right. Good, bad, indifferent. I'm hoping to make you think on some of these.
I think it was all right.
I think it was actually out on white. Should have been blue ball.
Here's what I don't like. Here's what I don't like. Why do you have to pull the whistle out of your mouth?
Playing around with the whistle.
Just let the whistle fall out of your mouth. I'm the only one who's probably seeing this. I get that. Okay. But if I go boop, why do I have to go? Okay, hold on. White. Right? Just let it fall out of your mouth. Say white, point, and then you can get your whistle again. If there's players in front of you and you got to grab it real quick for a tee, you don't have to get the whistle as soon as things happen, right? If the technical foul happens or someone said, you can grab your whistle and put it in your mouth and blow it. So don't worry about that whistle. If we worry about the whistle too much, a lot of guys will grab their whistle. I used to, I don't think I do anymore. I would foul, call it, and as I go to the table, I would grab my whistle and I'd hold my whistle and I'd run. You'd say, well, what's the big deal? I didn't think it was a big deal either. And someone at the higher level said, it feels like that's your security blanket. You have to hold on to your whistle. And it wasn't, but that's the way it's conveying. So let it go. I was always worried about, it's flicking around and who cares? So let the whistle go and just worry about officiating. Because if you're worrying about this, you're not 100% thinking at the play, is the way I perceive it. Any comments? Some of this stuff's nitpick. I get it. Three-point signal attempt. Good, bad, ugly. Anything? Anyone?
I think it should be on the outside hand, but
Yeah. Should
Why?
be using it.
Why should it be on the outside hand?
Table can see it better.
That's the exact reason why. So he had a good signal. I thought it was a good, strong signal. Thought let's see, here we go. I thought the angle, because I'm big on the angle of your arm, is good. It's close to 45. 3 fingers extending, not that goofy, whole hand, don't shoot me looking thing. I hate that too. I think it looks great. But the only problem is you want to have it on the other side because it's closer for the table to see. Now, again, most of the time they're going to see you do that hand. But if it's straight lined enough, where they can't quite see and they're not sure, they're going to assume, as Jack said earlier, hey, when my hand doesn't go up, everything's a 2. Well, if they don't see that hand go up, they're going to assume it's a 2. I mean, obviously you're going to go up like that, but they're going to think it's okay. So just get it out toward the table side, toward the division line. And that way everybody can see it. Yeah.
Yep.
All right. This game again. What do you think? Had a hand check foul. I'm actually okay with the foul. I'm okay with the hand check foul here. Maybe I would have waited a little longer, but he clearly puts his hand in here, tries to hold him back. I'm okay with the foul here. But since this is a meeting on signals, what is this signal?
I don't know.
Push.
It's not a federation signal. A lot of guys use it, and I even use this signal sometimes at the preliminary site. Probably incorrectly, I should, but at the preliminary site, meaning 2-hand hand check. 2-hand hand check. Yes? Would we agree that that's what he's signaling?
Right.
It's not an official high school signal. What is the hand check signal? This. Grab your wrist, hand up. Now, if you want to do this at the preliminary signal, 2 hands, and I usually yell out 2 hands. Again, that's not anywhere in the book to do that, but it conveys to everybody 2-hand hand check. Okay? I'm really okay with that. But when you go to the table really is where we do everything exactly how we're supposed to do it by the book. 15, hand check. All right? And then out of bounds or whatever you want to do. I'm going to go back to this video because I also want to show you why. And in this particular play, it's not even a 2-hand hand check. Does he touch him with 2 hands?
Just one.
Held it with one arm.
And it's only one hand.
Okay. So he touches him with one hand. He gets a foul with one hand, which again, fine, hand check. Give the proper information. 2 hands, if you're going to do that, which you shouldn't at the table, but if you're going to do that, make sure it was a 2-hand hand check. If it's just one hand, that's the signal. Agreed?
Yep.
And a lot of people could say, like, well, what's the big deal? On all of these, what's the big deal? Well, in the grand scheme of things, you're right. It's not a big deal. But the little things all add up. And again, when you've got one person who's watching foul calls, trying to help coach their kids, and there's some teams that they're really good at it. and they really do coach their kid to try and, okay, stop doing this and adjust to that. And when you're giving the wrong information, it doesn't help the game. So don't use it.
I think as a relatively new official, there have been times when my partner has given an off the book signal like that, and I'm just like, I don't know what that meant, and I'm not sure what's going on, and it's becomes clear it's not a big deal, but you still have that moment of doubt, and it's not necessary. It's something to be aware of as a.
And that's a great point, especially for newer officials. And a new official isn't first year, second year, 0 to 5, sometimes 0 to 10. You have 10 years of experience under your belt, and now you're starting to work varsity ball, and you're learning more at the higher level. And then you start seeing guys, a lot of guys are using college mechanics in high school games. And that's not okay. It's not a college game. There are mechanics that are used for college for a particular reason. A lot of it is TV purposes and fans that are watching through television. So they want it to be a little more clear, a little more concise so people can understand. But high school it's a different level. It's not as high as college. Use the high school mechanics. And if you do both, that's awesome. I'm glad you're doing both. But then when you're working high school, use your high school mechanics. When you're working college, use your college mechanics. And if you're constantly thinking about using the right one, it's only going to make you sharper of an official each level that you're officiating, because you have to think harder and you're more on your game that way. Here, I wasn't going to play this video, but I'm going to play it anyway because this is definitely college mechanic. I even looked it up in the college rules book. Okay, now, did she trip? I don't know, maybe. Maybe she got tripped. Maybe she was just blocked in the high school game, right? Blocking foul?
I'd say, yeah, I call that a block, especially at high school level.
And I talked with the official and he said, yeah, I was thinking of the college, I got to stop. Yeah, you have to think about that because in college, you're right, there's a tripping signal. And I think he even sold that call a little bit harder than he had to, but there's a tripping signal. Fine, but it's a high school game, high school mechanics. I want to show the schedule for next month. It is the last month of the 23-24 season. May 9, second Thursday of the month. And I've labeled it viewer's choice, which simply means you get to pick what you want to watch. It could be a variety of plays. It could be fouls that, guess if it's a foul or not. Or it could be, I want to watch a block charge and then I want to watch trend. I want to watch backcourt, and right. We can jump all over the place. I had this in my game. Do you have anything that looks like this? And hopefully we can try and find something. So May 9, I am going to open it up to everyone, not members only. If you know someone, and I send that link out, invite them, send the link, tell them to join. Don't invite them. Tell them that they need to join with you. And then I'm putting together, I've already put together, but the schedule for next season. We always take June off, come back in July. If you have a topic that you want covered, email me. Let me know. I haven't, I'm happy to take stuff out and put stuff in and whatever people think. I always try to come up with what I think, is interesting to everybody. But if you have something you want to see, email me. I'm happy to try and put it in there. There's no guarantee I'll stick it in there, but if I can think of some video to, make it worth, then I'll do it. So, all right. Have a good evening, guys.
No, thanks again, Josh. Always very valuable. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Josh.
I will see you all next month.
All right. Good night.
Take care.